Hey guys, today we're rolling deep into drugs.
We've gone through the player's handbook and hand-selected drugs that pair up extremely well with each race. DM Tyler and I are here to take you through one wild ride, for your campaign.
To start off our list, we have Dwarf. Very commonly, dwarves will have Dwarven Fury. When smoked by a dwarf, this sour-smelling underground moss renders the dwarf immune to gaining exhaustion for the 2d4 hours, after which they must make a DC 8 plus number of hours plus levels of exhaustion Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, they gain all the levels of exhaustion they would have taken during that period. If a non-dwarf attempts to use it, they must make a DC 16 Constitution saving throw to gain the effects. Otherwise, they're poisoned for the duration instead.
In our number 2 spot, we're going to show some love to our halflings with the classic Halfling Weed. Most often dried, chopped, and smoked. This causes extreme emotions and near euphoric mellowness. Occasionally, the user will experience mild hallucinations. Some side effects include increased appetite and red, puffy eyes. Really noticeable on those little halflings because they turn into about 30% of their body.
Now, if you've ever been to an elf lunar festival, the Reverie Sticks are going to be your go-to drug of choice. The Reverie Sticks are thin, hollow sticks similar to those used for incense. When burned, the smoke causes a non-hostile creature to enter a relaxed, dreamlike state, going down into the hole. Reverie Sticks can also be snapped in half under one's nose. A sharp inhale of its contents delivers a powerful rush of euphoria, and the user has advantage on checks to resist fear and disadvantage on checks to resist being charmed for 1d4 hours.
Hey Ty, humans like drugs too.
I've heard that.
Which is why you should include Blackroot. This lichen grows on large rocks and boulders found above the timberline, the elevation at which trees do not have enough oxygen to grow. When chewed on, it causes the user to have a pleasant tingling sensation on the lips, tongue, and gum, as well as it can give the user a sense of mental sharpness and alertness. If swallowed, it causes nausea and vomiting if the user fails a DC 13 Constitution check. If used for 1d6 hours continuously, the user must make another DC 15 Constitution check. If failed, they experience nausea, but if passed, they gain an advantage on perception checks for the next 1d4 hours. Though not inherently addictive, if used for 1d12 days in a row, the user will feel extremely groggy if they do not use it every morning.
While dragons are known for hoarding gold, some dragonborn are known for hoarding venge, a deep red powder mineral that can be snorted for a euphoric and stimulant effect. If the character consuming it has any berserker or Jekyll and Hyde like attributes, their dark side will come out for 2 to 3 hours after ingestion. Or if provoked, even characters lacking such vulnerability become belligerent and disagreeable after doing a line of venge. Sounds like me when I black out.
So gnomes are freaky little creatures that really like their drugs too. I want to tell you about Warmroot, a small orange tinted root that on consumption warms the body, a feeling very similar to being cozy in bed. All senses are slightly dulled. This was initially used for miners who worked in conditions of extreme cold, but was quickly discovered as highly addictive. 3 doses begins the addiction, with every week following a -1 being applied to all ability checks. Stacks up to 5. The user does not have these effects for 2 hours after consumption.
Now, half-elves, they really like to feel things sometimes.
Fact.
So they'll take Patch. It works similarly to ecstasy, expanding the way you feel sensations all around you, grants the ability to speak with plants and animals for 1d4 plus 1 hours. And the come down has a DC 15 con save. Failing the save adds 1 point of exhaustion after waking from the first long rest, and lasts until completing the next long rest.
You didn't say exactly what Patch was.
I think this is an opportunity for people to homebrew a little bit. You know, you could say it's like a troll skin flake or something, or whatever you really feel like making it. Our sources right now don't have a description of what it is actually made of, so that's for you guys to figure out.
To no one's surprise, orcs like drugs. The Orcish Drug I'm going to tell you about today is Ogre's Breath, a strong-smelling drug that was accurately but unimaginatively named. Once smoking, the user gains +4 to strength checks while smoking, but must make a DC 20 con save or their brain and tongue swell, giving them -5 to their intelligence score, and an inability to speak clearly and a temper. The effects last while they smoke and 3d6 minutes after. It's a pretty hit it and quit it kind of drug, but Ogre's Breath will stay lingering in your party.
Now, if you have a fiendish origin, tieflings like Shadow Gut. It's a strange, slippery, slimy, pitch black gel that needs to be ingested. Once used, it'll give you 3d8 necrotic damage, but it'll also grant you a +5 to stealth checks for the next hour, as the user appears to fade into darkness.
Beware, what you leave behind might not disappear into darkness, like poop.
I got it.
All right, we've covered all the races within the player's handbook, but I found a specific drug that I think is invaluable to your D&D campaign, and that is Weirdling Tea. Weirdling Tea, a tea that shifts in color from orange to blue. When drank, the user sees the effect of a roll on the wild magic table. This is, however, just a hallucination. So today we covered a bunch of drugs that I think you can use in your D&D campaign. I highly recommend them. They add a little bit of variety, as is a little bit of danger and mystique to your campaign.
So Wes, which was your favorite drug in this list of D&D drugs?
As a human, I'm pretty faithful to Blackroot. It's consistent, it's in my mouth, and we're having a good time.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that the tiefling slime would be very fun to use, although ingesting it does not sound like a good time.
The worst kind of jello shot.
Now, a lot of these drugs have serious consequences that you'll have to deal with if you're using them in-game. So be careful using drugs in-game and out-of-game.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this content, please poke around the rest of the Rolling Deep YouTube channel, as well as poke around on our Instagram, Twitter, or Reddit pages. Thank you guys so much. It looks like we're on drugs. Hi, guys. We have a similar situation going on with our blood holes right now.